Finally, the Ravens are back in action. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Ravens flock, it's finally time for some Ravens football. We kick things off on Sunday as we head on the road to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. This game is a very interesting game. I'm gonna be upfront right now. This is a game the Ravens are supposed to win. This is not a game that they should really struggle with. When you take a look at the two teams, the Ravens are just the better overall team. Now, I like what I'm seeing with the Jets. The Jets right now are building. They're continuing to build, and I like what they're doing so far. They're heading in the right direction, but they're not a contending team right now. Baltimore is supposed to be a contending team, and the roster's healthy now. So we have to be able to come out here and win a game like this. There will be no excuses for the Ravens to win. I'm being straight up front. Usually I'll sit back and do my matchups in terms of who has the edge. In this situation, the Ravens have the edge all the way through. So this is a game they're supposed to win. Many Ravens fans believe they're going to blow these guys out. And as a Ravens fan, I hope that happens. Let's set the tone of the season right off the bat with a huge blowout win just to show we're healthy, we're back in the action, and we're ready to compete in the AFC. I would love for the Ravens to start the season off like that. Will they? I have no clue. But this is a game they're expected to win. And I have to say that right off the bat as we get into this preview. Now, let's actually talk about the game itself and talk about more so the storyline that follows this game. So the Baltimore Ravens start off the season in New York at MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. Very interesting week one game here. Originally, they were expected to take on quarterback Zach Wilson, but due to Zach Wilson suffering an injury in the preseason, he's out for the first 4 games of the season, which means somebody else takes over at quarterback for the Jets. And no, it is not Mike White. Instead, I like saying that by the way, but instead, it is an old friend, somebody Baltimore knows very, very well. Joe Flacco is going to get the start for the Jets, and he will have an opportunity to go up against his former team. This makes the game very interesting. You know, I've done a lot of previews. Usually I know what I want to talk about, and usually I know how I want to go into it in terms of matchups. But with this one, it feels different. You know, you're going up against your former quarterback, a guy that helped bring a championship to Baltimore, a guy that put this fan base and this franchise through the ringer. The amount of emotions this guy had us, the times where we had the good moments where we could actually cheer for Flacco, and then the moments where he stressed us out. There's so much good and bad. There's so much positive and negativity when it came to Joe Flacco's time in Baltimore. He was here for 11 years, and let me tell you, those were that was a mess, bro. We had the great moment, but we had a lot. And I mean a lot of stressful moments. A lot of moments where you just question why this guy is still signed here. Why is he still our quarterback? But I understood, man, because despite all the stressful moments, despite the fact that he put us through the ringer as a fan base, at the end of the day, he bought this city a championship. He brought us a championship. We wanted a Super Bowl. He got it. And I think that Super Bowl means so much more because of the circumstances that was behind that championship. Say what you want about Joe Flacco, but he won this team a championship. And he did it during Ray Lewis's last ride. Because we were talking about it. I remember back in the day growing up as a kid, the talks were spreading, man. Everyone was speaking on it. You know, Ray was getting up there in age. You know, we didn't know if Ed Reed was going to be here much longer. We didn't know if he was going to retire or not. So, you know, as it was getting closer and closer, we knew at some point Ray Lewis was going to hang up the cleats, and we didn't know if we were going to get another Super Bowl with him. And then with Ed Reed, we didn't know if we would ever win a championship with him. We had plenty of opportunities, but we just didn't know if we had the pieces offensively to get it done in the postseason to help our defense out. We just didn't know. Now, from 2008 to that 2012 Super Bowl run, we were contenders. We were able to compete. We've had opportunities. However, we fell up short. In 2008, we fell short in the AFC Championship game when Flacco threw that stupid pass to Troy Polamalu that cost us the game. Then in 2010, in the divisional round against the Steelers again, Defense kind of messed up on that huge, what was it, 3rd and 19 play, that bomb that went to Antonio Brown. That was kind of his moment to shine, and that's when you started to see Antonio Brown. Maybe he wasn't emerging at that time, but you knew he had the potential to be that star player. And then again in 2011, we were in the AFC Championship game. Should have won it, but apparently Lee Evans didn't have hands that day, and Billy Cundiff decided to be the worst kicker in the history of kickers by missing that field goal. So we had opportunities that we squandered, and we did not know if we were going to actually win a ring with them. And then, heading into the postseason in 2012, Ray Lewis says that's his last ride. And many of us speculated that Ed Reed would go with him too. So we really wanted to win the Super Bowl that year in that postseason because we knew this was Ray's last time. We were speculating it would be Ed Reed's last time as well. So we really wanted to get that. The fact that we were able to get that, and the fact that we got it while Flacco played the best football of his life, made that Super Bowl run so significant. But the crazy part about it is that run was so majestic that it low-key brainwashed the Ravens flock, because we just started to believe if we could just get to the playoffs, playoff Flacco will show up, he'll take over, and we can get it done. We didn't care how Flacco played in the regular season. In the playoffs, if we can get there, we have a shot. And that was our mindset. Even though he was putting up a lot of bad performances, that was our mindset. If we could just get there, we have a shot. Past the Super Bowl, Flacco had one good season in 2014. We got to the divisional round, and due to the defense choking 2 14-point leads against Tom Brady, we lose. From that point on, we do not make the playoffs with Flacco, and the next time we'll make the postseason is in 2018 when a rookie Lamar Jackson helps us get into the playoffs. So yeah, Joe Flacco's significance is well known in Baltimore, and we know what this guy is capable of, and we know what he did for the city of Baltimore, and we appreciate it. But with this matchup, where I'm going with this story is that despite all that, we never really got a moment of closure with Joe Flacco. And this goes back to the playoff game, Lamar's first playoff game. I was in that stadium during Lamar's first playoff game, and a lot of people wanted Flacco to come in. Not because they wanted him to replace Lamar. We all had an understanding at that point, Lamar was the future. He was going to be that guy to take over for Flacco. When Lamar first got drafted, we knew it was only a matter of time. We didn't expect it to be that quick, but we knew it was a matter of time before Flacco was replaced by Lamar. So we knew it was coming. And heading into that playoff game, we all had that understanding that Flacco probably wasn't going to be here next year. So when the playoff game was looking rough and it looked like we weren't going to win, a lot of people wanted Flacco to come in because we wanted that closure. No one was expecting Flacco to turn that situation around and win the game, but we just wanted Flacco to be on the field one last time. That was the mindset of many Ravens fans that were in that stadium that day. We didn't get that closure. And he ended up, obviously, he ended up going to the Broncos and he was no longer on the team. You know how it was. But because we didn't get that closure, we've wanted one of two things to happen. Either A, Joe Flacco, when he's ready to retire, he signs a one-day contract with the Ravens and officially retires as a Raven, which could still happen. I don't know, but Flacco's still playing football. I don't know how long he's going to continue to play football, but the possibility of that is still open. So that was the first option. But the second option of getting closure was to be able to go up against him head-to-head. Him being the new starting quarterback for another team, we get to go up against that team and we absolutely crush Flacco and destroy whatever team he was on, to just emphasize to those small bits of fans that still keep talking about Flacco, despite the fact that Lamar's done so much for us and we're far past that and we're not trying to do this whole thing. Because there's still Ravens fans that are held up on Flacco and they'll still bring it up to this day. Hell, because of this situation, you've started to see those fans pop out. That's the whole reason I'm talking about this. You started to see those fans pop out. And there's been Ravens fans saying, I love the Ravens. I want this team to win, but I wouldn't mind if Flacco beats us. I hope Flacco has a great game against us. Low-key, I want him to win. You've been seeing comments like that pop up here and there from people that are saying they're Ravens fans. And that's the whole reason I'm bringing up this whole story, and the whole reason why I'm bringing up this narrative. The fan base hasn't really gotten closure as a whole from the Joe Flacco situation. Either we beat him head-to-head or he retires as a Raven. He doesn't look ready to retire, so this is our opportunity to go head-to-head against him and absolutely destroy him. The Ravens have an opportunity to do that this week. Obviously, the Ravens, there's no bad blood between the Ravens and Joe Flacco. Ravens love Joe. Joe loves the Ravens. This is going to be a fun game. So it is what it is. But I'm talking about the fan base, for the fan base as a whole. We need closure. I accepted Flacco leaving long ago, but the entire fan base is not of that mindset. There's still some people that haven't fully accepted that, and it's been a problem. You can't keep calling yourself a Ravens fan if you haven't moved on from Joe Flacco. So this is the opportunity to have that closure. And the Ravens have an opportunity to do that on Sunday. If they can go out there and crush Joe Flacco and crush this Jets team, people can officially move on. We would officially have that closure, and people can move on. People should have moved on years ago when Lamar became the guy. People should have moved on years ago when Lamar became MVP. But there was still that small section of Ravens fans that weren't willing to move on because we never got closure with the Joe Flacco situation. Well, now's the time for closure. So, let's get into it. That was a long story, by the way, but really, when we're talking about the Jets here, there's not much to really recap in terms of the game or much to really preview in terms of the game. The Ravens beat them on all phases of the football. So it's just like offensively, defensively, and special teams wise, the Ravens have the edge. There's not much to talk about. They have the better quarterback. Now, receiving wise, I wouldn't say we have the better receivers. We have probably a little bit more talent and potential at receiver if you want to make an argument. Though I don't think you can say that. They have Elijah Moore over there who's just looking like a straight baller. We have Rashad Bateman, and he looks like a baller too, but we have to see what he can do. And of course, they still have Mims over there who wants to be traded, but you don't know how that's going to work. And of course, they still have Davis there. So they have weapons to utilize on that offense. But you know, talent-wise, maybe we have the edge. The addition of Demarcus Robinson definitely does help us a bit. And of course, we still have Mark Andrews there, as well as the potential of Isaiah Likely. So that's why I look at the offense as a whole. I say we got a little bit more potential. Not to mention, we may have J.K. Dobbins in this game. Now, of course, the injury report came out, and Ronnie Stanley is listed as doubtful. I did not expect him to play week 1. I said let him come back week 4 against the Bills. That's when I need him back. And if you want to give him a little time to prepare for that matchup against the Bills, week 3 against the Patriots. Either way, I didn't expect them to be out there week 1. But as for J.K. Dobbins and Marcus Peters, they're listed as questionable. They could very well play this game on Sunday. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to come down to a game-time decision. But I just feel like overall, offensively, we have the better talent. Defensively, we definitely have a better defensive unit than the Jets. They got some nice guys there, and it's going to be a very interesting matchup between C.J. Mosley and Mark Andrews, because that's going to be the matchup, and I expect Mark Andrews to absolutely eat all day. He is going to cook C.J. Mosley. C.J. Mosley, that's another former Raven, and we know this dude cannot cover these tight ends. He struggles with that. So Mark Andrews is going to be eating all game. Unless all of a sudden C.J. Mosley comes out here and shuts down Mark Andrews, which I don't see happening, but I expect Mark Andrews to eat. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, offensively, I would say the Ravens have the edge there. Defensively, they definitely have the edge there. They could potentially have the best secondary in football, just talent-wise. And if they put it together and execute, that could definitely happen. If Marcus Peters is out there on Sunday, you know he'll be looking to pick off Flacco. Marlon Humphrey's going to be out there on Sunday as well, so we'll see. In terms of what? I actually don't... No, I do not believe Kyle Hamilton will get the start. I think, honestly, for your safety duo, it's probably still going to be Chuck Clark. And then, obviously, you got Marcus Williams back there as well. So, you know, it's going to be Williams and Clark. You'll see moments where Robinson will be out there at times. Hell, you may see moments where all 3 of them are out there because, again, McDonald is looking to try anything out, and he's going to throw some interesting coverages out there. So he may utilize 3 safeties. Who knows? But, yeah, secondary-wise, I think, yeah, we have the edge there. I do have some concerns for us personally in terms of the pass rushing unit. It's very thin there, and especially an edge rusher. That's the pass rush as a whole. It's not bad, but at edge rusher, we're really thin at that. So I don't exactly know how we're going to look at edge. I expect Odafe Owe to have a monster day, so I think he's going to eat as well. But I think it's going to be a great way to get him started. I believe Patrick Queen is going to be there to shut the run game down, so that's going to be cool. Overall, I expect this defense to be able to perform well, and they have the edge as well. So offensively, we have the edge. Defensively, we have the edge. Special team-wise, we have Justin Tucker. We obviously have the edge. This is a game where the Ravens are just a better football team than their opponent, so there's no reason to lose. Now, I don't think this is a trap game. It's week 1. I wouldn't say week 1 right off the bat you get a trap game. You know, you understand at the start of the season, you're not going to try to take your opponent lightly. You haven't had a major win. Week 5 may be a trap game for Baltimore. Actually, I couldn't even say that because week 4 we have the Bills, and then week 5 we have the Bengals. Week 6 maybe? I would have to look at our week 6 matchup. Because if you beat the Bills and the Bengals, that week 6 game may be considered a trap game after having beaten those two teams if you pull it off. But we're speaking down the line. We'll get to it when we get to it. But week 1, I wouldn't say it's a trap game. I don't think the Jets are a trap game. I will say we have to be wary of week 1 Flacco. Because if there's one thing we know about Joe Flacco, for some reason, he comes out of the season firing on all cylinders and ready to go. At least for the most part. I don't know why. Hell, last time he was the starting quarterback for the Ravens entering a season was week 1 of the 2018 season when we took on the Buffalo Bills. And what ended up happening? Well, Nathan Peterman threw like a couple of picks, but Flacco had 3 touchdown passes. And it was all to a different receiver. That was the game that was supposed to be out here showcasing our new receivers. Michael Crabtree caught a touchdown, John Brown caught a touchdown, and Willie Snead caught a touchdown. So we were showcasing our new weapons we picked up that was supposed to help this offense compete, but we saw how that worked out. But yeah, last time we saw Flacco in a week 1 matchup, he threw 3 touchdowns and he looked damn near perfect. Week 1 Flacco comes out and plays great. Hell, you see it all the time. You'll hear talks about Flacco being flawless throughout practice and training camp, and it's like, Flacco's ready to have a big year. And then he comes out week 1 and bam, he puts up a great stat and everyone's like, okay, Joe Flacco's ready to go. And then for the rest of the season, he's inconsistent. That could very well happen here. You don't know what type of week 1 Flacco you're going to get, but if you get that same week 1 Flacco that's just coming out here firing on all cylinders and just launching that ball down the field and hitting the receivers in stride, it could be a long game. So we do have to be wary of Flacco, but the Ravens know everything there is to know about Joe Flacco, so we shouldn't have much of a problem there. So yeah, I don't think there's really much to talk about this game. This is probably one of the weaker matchups we see of week 1. There's a lot more difficult matchups here. This is a game I expect the Ravens to win, and there will be no excuses if they lose. So get it done. I don't know if I'm going to put this as a blowout, but I will say it's going to be a double-digit win just because I believe they're going to be able to fire on some cylinders, but there's going to be some room for improvement, especially offensively. We have to remember that a lot of these guys haven't really had a lot of time to practice with each other due to a lot of these guys coming back from injuries and stuff. And then, some guys getting some minor injuries here and there and missing time, so I don't know how the offense is going to look. You got DeMarcus Robinson, who just got here. He's going to be a prime piece in this passing game, so I don't know how he is going to look. Maybe he plays the same way he played in the preseason. Right off the bat, he just fits in. Rashad Bateman, this is supposed to be a big year for him. I don't know how he's going to come out and look week 1. Devin Duvernay and James Prochet. A lot of people do not believe in these guys. They're going to have an opportunity to prove themselves. I don't know how they're going to look week 1. I have no idea how the chemistry is going to look coming out to play their first game. I have no clue. Why? Because the majority of the starters did not play in the preseason, offensively and defensively. I have no idea how Lamar Jackson's going to look. Though, if you look at his history, week 1, Lamar Jackson's been one of the best quarterbacks to start the season. He's put up numbers. I don't think he's thrown a pick in the week 1 matchup yet. Yeah, 2019, he had 5 touchdowns, no picks. 2020, he had 3 touchdowns, no pick. 2021, he had a touchdown. He turned the ball over. He had like 2 fumbles in that game against the Raiders, but he didn't throw a pick. So yeah, he has yet to throw an interception in a week 1 matchup, but he's turned the ball over at least 2 times during that time. But he's been fantastic overall in the week 1 matchup. So I expect Lamar to replicate that again, and especially in a year like this where so much is happening. I'm not even going to get into the contract here because we've already talked about it, but I expect Lamar to come out here and fire on all cylinders. Expect Mark Andrews to be ready to go. I expect these guys to be ready to go. I just feel like it's going to take a little bit of time before the chemistry starts to really gel. They'll make enough plays to win against the Jets, but obviously as the weeks go on, they'll have to get themselves together. And their biggest test will be week 4 against the Buffalo Bills, followed up by a week 5 matchup against a divisional rival in the Cincinnati Bengals. So we'll see how this offense looks, but I'm not exactly sure I'm going to sit back and say they're going to blow these dudes out. I hope they do, because if we come out with that 2019 vibe, we absolutely destroy this team, oh man, that's going to be fantastic. I would love that. I would absolutely love for Lamar to come out here, throw 5 touchdowns, and we eradicate the Jets. I hope it happens. I really do. But, I'm never going to predict a blowout because you never know when a blowout's going to happen. I will predict somewhat of a dominant win, or at least a very clear win, but I'm not going to say it's a blowout. So speaking of that, how's the game going to go down? Well, I believe the Ravens are going to win this, 24 to 10? I would say 24 to 10 or 24 to 14. That would be my prediction here. I think Marcus Peters, if he does get to play, he's going to get a pick. If he doesn't, that pick's going to go to someone else. I think we're going to force 1 to 2 turnovers, an interception and a fumble. I believe Adafe always going to play a huge role in causing a strip fumble on Joe Flacco. So I think we're going to have 2 turnovers in this game. Offensively, I think Lamar is going to come out and look relatively sharp. He's going to be targeting Mark Andrews early on. He's going to try to get it to Rashad Bateman and get that situation going. And he might be looking to feed DeMarcus Robinson since he's the new kid on the block. Also going to try to get, Duvernay and Poche involved. He's probably going to be looking to spread the ball early on to start off this season. And I would sit back and say, Lamar Jackson, if J.K. Dobbins plays, I could see Dobbins getting a rushing touchdown because they'll look to feed him and get him back to business. But if he's not on the field, you could look at Davis, look at Kenyon Drake and see what happens with that. But if J.K. Dobbins is not on the field, I don't think we get a rushing touchdown here unless Lamar takes it in himself. So I would sit back and say if Dobbins is there, he's going to get a touchdown and Lamar will have 2 passing touchdowns. If not, then Lamar will either have 3 passing touchdowns or 3 total touchdowns. I think he's going to get 1 to Andrews just because Andrews is going to eat in that matchup against C.J. Mosley. And I think he's going to hit Rashad Bateman because they've been working on those red zone drills and that chemistry has been showing throughout training camp. So I think he's going to get 1 to Andrews, 1 to Bateman, and depending on if J.K. Dobbins is on the field or not, if he's on the field, we'll just leave it at 2 touchdown passes. If he's not on the field, then the third one, I could see DeMarcus Robinson getting involved just because they want to get him already inclined into the Ravens offense. So either way, it could be 2 touchdowns for Lamar, 3 touchdowns for Lamar. Either way, Lamar's going to have a really good game to start off the season. Hopefully he puts up more. I'm really rooting for that blowout. But I think Lamar's going to have a really good game to start off the season. We're going to win this 24-10. 24-14. We're going to try to establish the run game. It will be a lot better if J.K. Dobbins is out there, but who knows. Either way, I think the Ravens get a convincing win here, and they move on to week 2 to take on the Miami Dolphins. That's basically my prediction here in a nutshell. I'm very interested to see how this game is going to go. Don't know how it's going to go down, but I do believe the Ravens are going to win this game. They're the better team. They're supposed to be a contender. The Jets are still rebuilding. They're building a nice squad, but this is not the type of Jets team you should be losing to. Once the Jets have completed everything they want to do, and Zach Wilson, for their case, lives up to what they expect or what they hope for him to do, then we can talk about the Jets. But the Jets are not a team that's in Super Bowl contention this year. You're supposed to be a team that's in Super Bowl contention, so you have to go out there and get a convincing win. I hope they blow them out, but I'm not going to predict that. With that being said, I'm glad Ravens football is back. I've missed doing these type of predictions. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. Obviously, I'm going to be here live streaming the game, and we're going to have fun with it. We'll chill, we'll relax, we'll kick back, and we'll watch some great Ravens football, hopefully. Please, Ravens, do not lose this game. I'm begging you not to lose this game. With that being said, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!